Alright, this is Calibos, and we are playing Project Ozone 3. So, I have got a really full inventory. So we're just going to chuck some of the things that are not applicable at just this moment to our task. Alright. So, let's go to hunting dimension. I think I've got a lot of grass here. Honestly, I could have gone to the other dimension and not worried about it, but we're here. So we're pretty much here for grass. We can pick up the other stuff and it won't hurt, but, you know, grass. All right, good enough. Let's go back here. We need to head to the sag mill. We'll see how our stuff is progressing. Like, probably hasn't gone very far because I basically stopped the episode and then started a new one right away. We're almost done with our things, although this is taking a while. 27. So we just need like 5 more, and then that will be even 2. Oh, this is 3. There we go. So that's all of that. Now, in order to make the dye, basically we need a free alloy smelter, which we're about to have on the right. We need basically pulverized coal, which we're getting now, and we need organic material, which it's either slime balls or eggs. So 8. And so for the green dye, we need basically pulverized grass. And so we're kind of waiting for this to be done. Just a couple more seconds, guys. I know. Alright, so that's that. Now this should go slightly faster. And then while we're waiting on that, this is almost done. So should be the last one, and then we need to go ahead and combine pulverized coal and oh, maybe that's not it. Alloy smelter. Use for this is Oh, of course, I am a fool. And that. So that gives us 2. So now we need to go get some lapis to crush. I have no idea where my my bag is again. There it is. So let's chuck those in there. Chuck that in there. Let's get rid of this, that, and that. This can stay. Probably don't need the bone meal anymore. So lapis. I think we needed quartz. Can't remember. Industrial dye. So nether quartz. Yeah, so the crushed quartz actually works. Alright, that's good enough for me. What's the use for that? So that makes brown dye. Okay, well, sure. So now we have too far. So we have the various dyes that we need. Now we just need to make the industrial blend, which is going to require a couple of so just to crush some lapis. I'm going to go ahead and let this finish since we use so much of it per process. I'm not going to crush all of the lapis though. We need 16 seems fine. A little bit more. Jeweled. That gives us this. Uses for this is, you know, we take one of these, we pop one of that in there, we do that, and now we should have some of those. So we'd actually like to go ahead and make a couple more of these. Oops. Because we'll be using them a lot. And we'd like to go ahead and upgrade a couple of things. So let's chuck those in there. Industrial blend, chuck that in there. The culmination. Craft a machine chassis, okay. So let's go look at our our quests. Didn't we just do this one? Okay. Dark steel should basically be done. Machine chassis should be done. So now we need to make a regular sag mill and an alloy smelter. So this is going to be a little bit better. These will be faster. So we already have a simple alloy smelter, so let's go ahead and make 2 simple powered furnaces. So that's going to be 2 furnaces. Okay, so we're just going to make these things over here. Notice we're still doing stuff as far as that goes. So let's go ahead and make some more of these. To make a simple powered furnace, we're going to need 2 furnaces. So we'll need stone bricks, which I think that we have. So we'll need stone gears, which we also have, or can make. And then we're going to need buckets, which are not super big deal. We have 1 or 2 buckets. So that should give us both of these. Let's go ahead and we need a simple Stirling generator, which is going to require 4 stone bricks, a piston, infinity bimetal gears, which are very simple. So that's going to require 1 furnace, 1 piston. What do I need for the pistons? A couple of stone, a couple of those, a couple of those. Gives us a piston. Gives us a furnace. And now we just need the bricks, which should be there. And that gives us the simple Stirling generator. Which should be this here. Now we need to upgrade that into a Stirling generator. And then we can go combustion and enhanced combustion and crazy with that. So I desperately want to upgrade to the sag mill and the alloy smelter first. So in order to make the sag mill, we're only going to need one of these. We're going to need 2 dark bimetal gears, 2 dark steel ingots. So 1, 2. So that gives us that. So we need... Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much there for the sag mill. And this is going to definitely kick our grinding into high gear. So let's do this. Oop. Okay, we don't need enderos. That's a good way to have problems. So, oh, that can... Let's pull that out. Do this. Crafting grid, sag mill there. So now we have a sag mill. And the difference is these need a capacitor to function. You'll notice that they have 4 slots as well, and they can accept material to use as a grinding agent. So as far as capacitors, we have a few. Incredibly cooking wonder capacitor is probably good for an alloy smelter. This is probably good for an alloy smelter as well. So that's probably good for a sag mill. That's probably also good for a sag mill. So if these are good for sag mills, we'll see how they go. So 203, 251. I have no idea which one is better. I mean, but for example, if we put some coal in here, you'll notice the immediate difference in speed. Like the immediate difference in speed. And then our goal is to do that for the alloy smelters as well. So if we want to use the alloy smelters, we just need 2 more dark bimetal gears, which involve more of the infinity, grains of infinity. So 1, 2, 3. Alright, so now we have that. We need to make an alloy smelter. Alloy smelter. So that's that. So if we go ahead and chuck that in there. So this should actually give us a pretty solid alloy smelter. Chuck that in there. So let's check our, whatever. All right, so that, and now we can throw that in there. So we're basically bootstrapping ourselves up. So we're going to go ahead and grab these really quick, and then we're going to go ahead and do it here. $41. $40. So you can see the difference in speed almost immediately. We have all the dark steel. So farming station and a vat. So the vat is technically where you get where you make the fire water. I don't remember how many steps it is to make, but it's kind of a process. It's not a super process. But it's made in the vat, and you need redstone and blaze powder and hooch, and that gives you fire water. Hooch is basically alcohol, if you didn't know. In order to make hooch, you need another vat, and you give it pretty much any kind of like sweet thing and any kind of plant-based thing. And depending on how much sugar is in whatever it is, then you know, because you could see the recipes. Basically a lot of seeds, a lot of melons, and it doesn't care what size you put it in. And it sets all of that stuff up. So it's pretty easy to automate. If you're automating it, I generally would recommend having 2 vats and have them feed into each other. You might as well. Again, it's not super challenging. So let's go ahead and take this, and we'll see what we need to upgrade it. So we just need the 2 dark bimetal gears. See what I mean about all of the all right, so now we have a second alloy smelter, and it needs a capacitor, and we need to get rid of these Endrios. They make you teleport randomly around. I haven't found a good use for them. What did I come over here for? Well, capacitor. So when it says dud like this, it's garbage. So we want to use this one. All right. So we've actually got quite a bit done as far as quests. Got lots of dark steel now. So it doesn't require that we make the higher level ones, but we might as well do that because they're pretty fast, especially when you have the right capacitors in them. Like I said, if it says dud on there, it's garbage, and I'm just gonna chuck them over the edge. But yeah, so I guess we'll call it here. We've made some progress in this quest line. Most of the rest of this is going to be setting up alloys and different capacitors and stuff like that. I've never even heard of crystalline capacitors. So we'll have to see where these go. These are capacitor banks, which are just a matter of storing power. They're basically these are batteries, but they're multi-block batteries, so they're kind of cool. They will form a multi-block when they're touching any connected capacitor. However, they do not connect to capacitors of different types and can do some weird glitchy things. I don't know if the behavior is intentional or not, but they do not like to sit next to capacitors of different types. So that is the thing to be aware of. So the slice and splice here, this is an entire chain of basically like capturing souls and altering mob heads to be smart processors, really. And it's kind of cool, and you need it for like the farming station and whatnot. Crystalline alloy. I don't know what a grain of piezoality is. So we'll have to investigate making some of these things. We can make seeds. I guess. We'll probably end up having to make them, but I think that we're collecting them a little bit fairly slowly. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I guess it's time to call it. Questions, comments, concerns can all go below. If you liked it, leave a like. If you don't. I look forward to hearing any comments you might give me, suggestions and helpful hints. But I guess I will catch you later. Have a good night.